there are a lot of Final Fantasy VIIs. Where does one begin?
The OG. Like, that's obviously, if you're going to play Final Fantasy VII, you want to start with the original game, right?
By the end of this video, new fans will know where to start, and old ones will be 100% fully prepared to spread the gospel of Final Fantasy VII amongst the masses. Final disclaimer before we start, this is just my opinion. Now, yeah, it's
okay, bro. You're allowed to have your opinion. Like, there's no problem with that. Like, you can be wrong. It's okay. I forgive you.
Informed opinion of a lifelong gamer and an FF7 expert, but it's still an opinion. So don't be running to my comments saying I murdered your firstborn child and drank their blood.
Does a video count?
Anyway, that being said, without further ado, number 1. The first game in the FF7 universe folks should start with is Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's right, not the original game from '97, the remake released in 2020. I think a lot of FF7 purists, a term that honestly just puts a bad taste in my mouth, personally, those people are extremely rigid in their belief that people should play all of the games in release order. And like,
as an FF7 purist myself, which does not put a bad taste in my mouth, I don't think you should play the remakes at all. They're not remakes of the original. So playing remake first, before the original, makes kind of zero. I'm going to let her explain it, but to me, from this point of view, doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, and it's not about chronological order. You can play 2 games which cover a third of the experience and also add a lot of bloat and nonsense that aren't in the original game. Or you can play the original, which is the whole experience from start to finish as it was originally intended.
I can see an argument for that. Like, if you do that, it's easier to see the dev's intent and how everything sort of fits in its chronological creative context. And I agree. It's cool to see the gradual or sometimes stark changes the series has experienced over time. But for new players, they're gonna fall in love with the world of Final Fantasy VII far more deeply with Remake than if they dove right into FF7 OG.
Hold on.
Seriously. I'm gonna need you to take off the nostalgia goggles.
This has nothing to do with nostalgia goggles. People cared about this game long before the remakes ever came out. People have been singing this game's praises for years. Like, the original game, if it wasn't so well made, it wouldn't be as popular as it is. Like, trying to make this argument that, like, oh, well, this remake is better than the original at making you love the game, then the remake wouldn't exist if the original wasn't already so good at making people love the game.
Anyone who tells you this game is full of filler and is just a cash grab has not played the game. I
have literally played the game. I've played it twice. I played it on release, and then I played it again recently with my wife watching, because I wanted to show her the difference. There's so much filler. Leslie is not an important character. He's not important to the plot. He's not important to anything. He's not important to any of the characters in the game. He's not important to the overarching story of the game. And yet he has a subplot that takes up 1 hour to 2 hours of the game, also preventing you from going to save Aerith. And then we have a second boss fight with a boss we already beat. So they reused a boss fight. That's fun. Thanks, video game. Really needed that. It's just, it is absolutely filled with filler. Half the game could have been removed, and it would still have too much in the game.
can guarantee this, or they're grifting. The time
I am not grifting. They try to tell you that, oh, well, you didn't actually play the game, or you're not a real fan, or you're not a this. It's like you're just trying to gaslight me into believing that I'm wrong or something, or that my feelings are wrong. It's like, no, I played the game. I'm not grifting. It's a pile of shit. And it's not just a pile of shit because it is a pile of shit. If it didn't have the name Final Fantasy VII on it, I don't think it would have sold 1 million copies, let alone 7, right, or 8, or however much they say it sold. The reality is that this game was riding the coattails of Final Fantasy VII. It sold itself as a remake, and it was not a remake.
Main characters like Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Barrett, in addition to characters you only know for a short blip in OG, like Jessie, Wedge, Biggs, Marlene.
You know what's great about Jessie, Wedge, and Biggs? They fucking die.
Number 2, you move on to the original game from 1997. You get to see where it all began, which honestly is really, really cool.
yeah, it's really cool to play the game that was super popular back in the day, and that's why, everyone loved it for a reason. It's not an accident that this game got remade. It's not like they just pulled up a random game from their encyclopedia of games.
And then there's one more very hidden, teeny side mission / cutscene kind of thing that I think every player should see because it's really pivotal when it comes to the next game on this list, Crisis Core Reunion. And it also matters.
No. Do we play Crisis Core or do we play Reunion? Which one do we play? Well, you can just play Reunion because it's basically a one-for-one remake, isn't it? But what about Final Fantasy VII Remake? Why the fuck isn't it a one-to-one remake? God only knows. God only knows.
This was initially a game for the PSP that they recently remastered for modern consoles and PC back in 2023. The fact that they brought this one out of PSP retirement should tell you how important they think it is to the 7 Remake trilogy.
Why did they remake Crisis Core, almost perfect one-to-one remake, but not Final Fantasy VII Remake? You people who make the argument that Final Fantasy VII Remake shouldn't be one-to-one have to fucking explain that shit to me. How one game, which is lore-destroying of the original, but works within the confines of Remake, doesn't get changed in its remake. From Crisis Core to Reunion, basically one-to-one remake, not even called a remake, it's called Reunion for some fucking reason. But Final Fantasy VII Remake is fucking so different, it's basically not even the same game. But one was a good decision, but one wasn't? I don't know, man. I don't know. Or both were good decisions? Explain it to me. Please wrap my head around it. It doesn't make any sense. Your arguments are silly.
It's not just a one-to-one port from the PSP. They actually re-recorded the main characters' voices so that they matched the same voice actors from the 7 Remake trilogy.
She agrees. It is literally a one-to-one remake. Fucking why?
Soldier second-class Zach on the job.
And let me tell you, this game is important. It takes place before the events of FF7's main game and primarily follows a character named Zach. But you'll see a lot of familiar faces and some unfamiliar ones.
This game is really important in the sense that it completely destroys the world building of the original game. It expands on so much lore that didn't need to be expanded upon, essentially rewriting half of the lore of the original game.
A couple of which have already shown up in the Remake trilogy. Now, I can't explain to you why it's so crucial to play this video game before playing the second game in the Remake trilogy, which is FF7 Rebirth. I can't tell you why it's important without spoiling a ton of stuff, but trust me when I say playing this game is borderline crucial to understanding the things that they're adding and changing about the
deep. Dude, one-to-one remake of Crisis Core, changing Final Fantasy VII. Why?
Which reminds me, I wanted to get on my soapbox about those FF7 purists for a second. The idea,
Come at me, bro.
instead of dragging your sad selves into my Twitch chat and YouTube comments saying things like, "You're a tourist, the Remake trilogy ruined Final Fantasy VII."
I wouldn't call you a tourist. Like, you can enjoy the remakes, dude. I really don't care that much. Like, in the sense that I don't care if you liked the game. I don't like the game, and I don't like the fact that it exists the way that it does.
Consider developing a more nuanced argument, if you're capable of this, and let's start a discussion about where you think Re-Trilogy falls short.
1, the combat sucks. It's really boring. 2, the characters they just suck, right? Like, Jessie sucks. I hate her so much. She's so annoying. Aerith sucks. She's completely uninteresting. The voice acting's really subpar as well. I'm gonna get flamed for that. I don't care. 3, there's too much fluff in the game. You can say there isn't, but there really is. It's way too much fluff. It's ridiculous. 4, I don't like the anime-like physical acting. It's not very enjoyable. It's way out of place. It's not good.
And if your argument simply boils down to, they changed the game too much, well, first of all, I'd encourage you to go back and play the original game.
I literally did. We went over this.
The tone and story beats are much more similar than you might remember. And second
No.
of all, what?
No. Again, I'm taking you back. As soon as Corneo in the original tells you that Sector 7 is gonna fall and Shinra's the one doing it, all the characters, they very quickly, they briefly go, is he potentially lying? And they go, doesn't matter, we have to get back immediately. And then it's a rush, right? You now have to rush back. You don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but you gotta get there. In Remake, they're like, oh, is what he's saying true? I don't know. And then you literally have a section, like 30 minutes in the sewers, where Tifa's like trying to convince herself not to worry about it. And then she's like, oh, let's go shopping. And you're like, why? I'm losing my mind thinking about it, dude. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so tonally off-putting. Yes, there are some parts. I would say that the best Remake does in being tonally the same is the first 30 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes. Right? The opening cutscene does a really good job of feeling just like the original. There's differences to it, but the differences they added, the kids playing, then all of a sudden it pans up to the reactor turns on, it blows up with the ominous music in the background. Fucking amazing. It's amazing. I remember I saw that scene and I thought, oh, maybe this isn't doomed after all. And then I played another hour and I saw Sephiroth and I went, what the fuck is going on? They start off so amazing and then they immediately lose the plot.
Never remake something if you aren't going to add something of value.
Why didn't you make that argument about Crisis Core? What was the point of remaking Crisis Core if they weren't going to add something? So why would you remake Final Fantasy VII so that new people can experience the wonder of Final Fantasy VII? That's why you would remake it without changing anything. That is literally the reason you would remake it.
I personally would be very disappointed if it was the exact same game, just on the PS5 instead of the PS1.
Crisis Core. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. Oh, why? Why would you be disappointed?
Classic turn-based or turn-based masterpieces, they're always going to be there. The new games succeed because they're changing things.
Do they succeed, though? Are they succeeding? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll let you have this one, but are they really considered successes? I don't think they are by comparison to what they would expect, especially with the amount of money they most likely put into these games. I would not consider them massive successes.
Because they're bringing in content from all these other games in the universe. And they succeed because the way they're doing that is by making this trilogy a sequel to the original game.
So it's not even a fucking remake. Why are you even making the argument then? Why are you making the argument? Why would you even say, why remake a game if you're not going to change it? And then you say it's a fucking sequel. Which one is it? Which one is it, man? Which one is it? It just doesn't make any sense. You can't go back and forth on this.
You can rent this for like $4 on YouTube or Prime or like a lot of other platforms, sometimes too, like Apple, but it's always somewhere. This one is a really important watch because it shows what happens after the end of FF7 Original. Hilariously,
there are people out there that believe, and I remember when Remake came out, this was an argument people were making. There are people that believe that when Final Fantasy ended, everyone died. All humans just died at the end of Final Fantasy VII. When the meteor comes down, whatever, all humans died because the next cutscene is 500 years later, and it's Red 13 and his two kids, whatever, right? And they run up to Midgar, and Midgar's in ruins and covered in trees, right? And apparently the message we're supposed to get from that, and I guess one of the devs said something about it, which is why people believe this, is that at the end of Final Fantasy VII, everyone died. And so the reason Remake had to be different, it had to have the Fate Ghosts, and had to have the rewrites, is because we're trying to save everyone from dying at the end of Final Fantasy VII. And then there's Advent Children, which happens immediately after, like 2 years after Final Fantasy VII ends. And as you can see, humans are still around. The people in the fandom who defend Remakes are just like, they will literally say fucking anything. They will literally say anything, dude.
My theory, and the one that Max also, draws out on the whiteboard or in paint or whatever, is that the Remake trilogy is going to change these final events of Advent Children and give the whole overarching story a new ending. Maybe. So you should watch it for that
Remember when I said like 3 seconds ago that remake fans will literally say anything to try and explain away the fucking nonsense of Remake?
Number 8, FF7 Rebirth. Welcome to peak. Well, peak so far.
I've heard other things. I haven't played it yet.
If you followed my list up to this one, you've done your homework. You're perfectly prepared to consume this game and Revelation in the spring.
What on fucking earth did I just see, dude? I hate the relationship they try to build between Cloud and Sephiroth, dude.
High-level boss fights. I know myself. I like aggressive, close quarters, fast-paced fights. I was forged in the fires of Yharnam, after all. So when Silksong...
Hey, you know what? Bloodborne's my favorite game, like, of all time. I love it. So, high five.
Looking at this list now, it does look overwhelming. And I've had a lot of friends that are new to Final Fantasy ask me, can they just play the Remake trilogy?
Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want, dude. You can play whatever order you want. Play Rebirth first at this point. Like, it doesn't really matter, especially if you're using the arguments she's using. I would argue OG, not only because it's the OG, but also because, in my opinion, it's objectively the best game out of all the ones listed here.
And to them I say, of course you can. There is no one truly optimal way to play all of these games.
Yeah, there is. It's playing the OG and then playing the remakes. Like, one is a full and complete experience, and the other is 2 games and a third that ain't even out yet. And as she said herself, is a sequel. So why would you play the sequel separately or before the original?
I always hear people talk about how one game spoils another, which I just think is a bad take.
I mean, it's kind of important, right? Like, if you're trying to get the full experience of Final Fantasy VII, you don't want to play Crisis Core first.
A real hard and fast rule I think folks should follow is to only play Crisis Core after playing 7 original and never switch them around. By the time you get to Zack being alive, yeah, someone starting with Remake won't exactly understand the significance at first. But that's exactly why we have them jump right into OG and Crisis Core next and go back to that cutscene after. Like I said, there's no one optimal way to arrange all of these games for a new player.
For a person who never plays the OG, though, can you at least admit how jarring it is to have, like, Kate Sith and Zack show up with no reference whatsoever? Can we at least admit that that's not good, right? It's not good story writing or development. Like, as you mentioned, it's a sequel, but it's not advertised as a sequel.
Let me know what you think the ideal order for all these games is.
Play OG, don't touch anything else. Don't do it. Just play OG, dude. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man.
I would love to hear your thoughts. And make sure to join the Discord, subscribe here, and also on the VOD channel, which has my playthroughs of all of the games that I mentioned in this video. And obviously I stream on Twitch 3 to 4 times a week, and I'm gonna try to marathon all of these games again ahead of Revelation. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching. Bye!
Thanks for the video. I appreciate the opportunity to react to Jess's video. I thought it was a very well-made video, even if I disagree with a large part of it. I'd like to remind everyone to go like her video, subscribe to her channel if you haven't already, if you would like to. Do not leave any rude comments about Jess. If you dislike or disagree with things she said, make sure it's civil and respectful. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.